All right, let's go to this particular conversation. Now, the Russia-Africa summit is expected to get underway in Russia before the end of this month. African heads of state are expected to converge in St Petersburg for this all-important meeting. Sophie Mokoena, SABC News International editor, joins us live now in studio. Thank you so much, Sophie, for your time. I mean, the summit is coming at the time where the Russia-Ukraine war is raging on. Is this issue definitely going to be discussed?
Yes, we know that there are concerns in terms of the impact of this war on the continent. You know that there's a problem of accessing some of the supplies, and therefore the leaders will definitely talk about this war in Ukraine. We know that it's a few weeks ago, 6 African heads of state and government, including some officials from the continent, were in Russia and also in Ukraine trying to speak to the two leaders to agree on a peace process. And therefore, this issue will definitely be part of the agenda, even though the main issue here is Russia strengthening its relations with Africa. We know that President Putin wants to ensure that the world is aware that he does have friends around the world, particularly in regions such as Asia, Latin America, and Africa in particular.
Now, there's also, of course, that other issue, which is quite a thorny one, and this is the Black Sea Grain Agreement, which the leaders are also possibly going to be interested in. Will they engage him on this matter?
We know that leaders have pointed out that this is something that they want President Putin and President Zelensky, under the mediation of the United Nations and Turkey in particular, they want that matter to be resolved. We know that President Putin has pointed out that he doesn't see a possibility of renewing this agreement, but he's willing to ensure that there is enough supply to the African continent in relation to grain and fertilizers. But the question is, will he agree when they discuss this issue in terms of ensuring that he does agree to extend the Black Sea Agreement that was facilitated by the United Nations and the Turkey leadership.
Now, Kenyan President, of course, William Ruto, saying that these summits are not yielding results at all and that there should be a better way to structure such engagements. Any information in relation to the interest in the summit?
Today, we saw the information from Russia, the Foreign Affairs Minister, Sergei Lavrov, saying that many African heads of state and government have confirmed that they will be there, but you still have those who won't be there, and they will be sending a high-powered delegation. But the question is, in relation to what the President of Kenya said, President William Ruto, when he was addressing the Pan-African Parliament, he pointed out that the African Union has taken a decision that they are not going to continue with this thing of all heads of states from Africa going to a country and engaging one leader rather than engaging leaders in that particular region. And therefore, a decision was taken that they will send few heads of state and government, and of course, including the AU Commission chair. And therefore, we are looking forward to see whether this will be a case. But what I do know, and I am confident that it is going to happen, is that the 6 heads of state and government who are facilitating peace process between Ukraine and Russia will definitely be in St. Petersburg, because on the margins of this Russia-Africa summit, they want to continue with the discussions to try and persuade President Putin to agree to a peace process, even though he has pointed out that he stands ready for negotiations, because he indicated at that time that there was an agreement already that was signed in Turkey, and the other party didn't want to implement the agreement or sign the agreement, and therefore they are going to continue with that mission. On the other hand, we know that in 2 weeks' time, the AU summit in Kenya will also be looking at this issue, and there were reports that there are attempts to ensure that the Ukrainian president is able to present present his case. In other words, Africa wants to engage these two leaders with the aim of finding a lasting solution in relation to peace in that country.
All right. So, Sophie, thank you so much for that comprehensive update. Sophie Mokoena, SABC News International Editor.